All right, Reed Michael caught a sturgeon yesterday in his boat. One of his buddies did, and we're going to do just a quick demo right here in front of Grumpy's on how to fillet a sturgeon. There's a lot of ways to do it. This is just how I do them. So I'll talk as I go, and if you have any questions, come down. Reed will be able to point out the best way to get it done after he's seen it. So here we go. So the first thing I do is take the coots off the back of it. What that does is expose the that'll expose the line you want to follow. So you can see this yellow stuff right here, that's the stuff we're trying to avoid as we fillet the fish. The other thing I like to do is take these side coots, and I'll take those off as well, because when we skin the fish, that's going to make bumps that we don't want in our fish. And I go ahead and just take the fins off too. All right. So now you'll see that I got this line exposed right here, and basically what I do is I work from the top of the fish and I work right down the edge, but this gray material in the middle, you want to avoid having that on the meat. And as you work your way down, you want to go down until you hit the rib cage. And you'll feel it when you hit the rib cage, because you're going to feel your knife bounce along those ribs. And when you got it on its stomach like this, you just go down to the backbone on both sides. Okay, from here there's two ways you can do it. Either you can follow the ribs and just work your way down across, or what I like to do is I just plunge through, go all the way through the ribs, and then I'll take the ribs off after I'm done. And then if you look at the bottom of this fish, it's got diamonds right across its belly. That's the line where you're going to take your fish apart at. So everything below that's really, really thin meat, and it's not even worth really going after. Okay, so we got half our sturgeon done, and I'm going to show you what to do with this half. So you got this part of the sturgeon, you got a little bit of the ribs left. We're just going to clip that off. We'll take this and we'll go right along the ribs, and we'll just trim that rib off. And you can put quite a bit of pressure up. The sturgeon have pretty big bones, so you can put quite a bit of pressure up. Once you get it filleted out like that, you got this fillet like this. You're going to get right underneath the skin on this side. And the best way to do it is to get just a pinch of the meat on the edge, so you got something to hold on to. You'll fillet down, you're going to put a lot of pressure on your knife and work along. If you look inside this fish, there's this red meat. Once we get it filleted out, we're going to trim all that red meat off. I'll switch to my bigger knife so I can do it all in one swing. Tiny little buggers. Okay. So all this red meat and any of the skin that's left on there we're going to take off. The best way I've found is with a smaller, really flexible knife. If you put a lot of pressure on it, it'll actually cut thinner as you go. So you're just going to work, and the best way is actually work against the grain. So you're going to work as you go. You're just going to, and you'll just shave all that red stuff off as you go. After that, cut it into chunks you want, and you're done. Any of this yellow stuff through here, you want to make sure you trim that off. The fat is really, it's got a really fishy taste to it. How you doing? My name's Brian. I'm down here with Grumpy's today doing a little bit of just a show and tell on setting it up for basic sturgeon. If any of you guys didn't know, it's January, February now, so sturgeon's actually open. Right now down in front of the Klickitat, you can keep sturgeon between 38 and 52 or 54 inches. Anyway, 52 or 54, check your regulations, you'll be able to figure that out. My basic sturgeon setup I run a Lima Glass 7-foot rod. This one happens to be a 7050 LB. It's actually built as a sturgeon rod. And then I run the Shimano 700 Dakotas. This one happens to be a line counter, but I have them both with and without the line counter. I run an 80-pound braid for my main line. And then on my for my leader setup, I run a 7/0 Trocar Big Nasty, and then up to about a 30 to 36-inch leader to a P-line swivel, a ball bearing swivel, and then I have a slider. The type of sliders I like to use are either the solid brass ones or the sliders that are actually made out of the Teflon material, so that I don't lose my 20 ounces of lead anymore. Lead's so expensive that you don't want to lose it. There's a couple different varieties of lead you can use on these. They've got the round ball or the triangle. I prefer the round ball ones just because they don't seem to stick into the rocks as bad or wedge in versus the triangle, but it's just kind of a personal preference. As far as bait goes for sturgeon, you can run the commercially done stuff. This one's by Ray's Bait Works. This is their pickled herring. Here's the ones by some pickled squid by Sportsman's Baits, or you can run just fresh squid. Here in Yakima, I go down to Fiesta Foods and I purchase it, and then I'll run either like Shane's garlic, or even you can use like Ultra Clam or something like that. As far as hooks goes, like I said before, I like running the Trocars. This is an 8/0 and just the regular octopus. Or you can buy the pre-tied ones. These ones happen to be by Brad's and they come pre-tied with leaders. The reason I like tying my own leaders is because all you got to do is come down to Grumpy's and buy the Dacron, and then you can keep using the hook over and over again. But I do recommend after every trip, just put new Dacron on your lines. I'd hate to see you hook into a 10-footer and then not be able to get them in because your braid breaks because it just kind of dry rotted. As far as hooks, I use a lot of, like I said, these big nasties, and then what I'll do is I'll run either a whole squid, or I'll also, in June, I'll catch shad, and then I'll freeze them, and then I'll run either a half or a whole shad, depending on the size sturgeon you're after. If you're after the keeper size, I keep a little smaller bait. If you want a little bit bigger size, then start running the bigger baits like a whole shad. They do have in stock down here these Shimano rods. I think they retail for under 150, 160 bucks, and they seem to be a pretty stout rod and seem to be a good rod. I've never experienced it myself, but they look like they'd handle the job just fine. And then they've got lots of reels and all the line you need in stock. Grumpy's has these brand new workstations down here. If you come on down, they'll rig up a rod for you, help you tie leaders and all that good stuff, get you all set up to go fishing. They're great looking tables, so come on down, they'll get you all set up.